Let's finish with a stretch for your hips, your hip flexors. I know you worked them. Come up into a kneeling position. Take one foot forward, but then outward enough so that your balance is not as much of a challenge. Do an anterior-posterior pelvic tilt. Okay, I do want to show you from the side. This movement is very different from this. Right? Give me just the pivot. Tail feathers to the floor. Good. Once you're satisfied with your posterior tilt, then you can slide that foot a little further forward. We're going to lean into it. Put a hand on your knee. You may be flexible enough to touch the floor, but I want the pelvis to stay posterior. We just worked L3, right? Push L3 backwards. And breathe. You should be feeling a stretch up the front of your leg. Psoas stretch. If you don't feel it here, stay with me. A lot of people don't feel this the first time around. Just hang in there. Come on up. Change sides. Okay, legs are wide. Right, front foot is pointing forward. Okay, keeping that posterior tilt. You can lean, but L3 goes backwards. You do have to bend your front knee to get into it some. Just don't lose the pelvic tilt. This one does take some strength. You could get a block or some books to rest your hand on. That's okay. Change sides. I'll do these facing you. Posterior tilt will move a little faster. So notice as I came into the stretch, I didn't rotate or side bend. I just came straight forward. Okay, get tall from your knee up through the crown of your head, and we'll add that front arm in an eldoa. So reach through your shoulder. You'll feel how your lat is connected to your hip flexor. Be here and breathe. This one takes some work. L3 backwards, arm forward. And change sides. All right, posterior. We're here. L3, it's a spot. Push it back. Arm goes forward. I'm externally rotated and reaching. Always elbow is about the lift. It's about the axial extension. Keep that chin in and reach. Make the shoulder move. Push out through the shoulder. Release. And one more on each side. If you've been successful and you're able to find the stretch, and you feel a stretch in the front of your hip, you can take the arm a little further up and add the smallest side bend towards the front knee. Okay, notice I didn't let my hips move around when I did that. I did a baby side bend to further stretch my psoas in their distal attachments. Reach for it. We're going to make it count. Give me one more breath. And change sides. If that bothered your back, you know what level to stay. Posterior. Right, you can always walk the front foot forward to give you a little more space. Arm extends. I square off the hips and the shoulders, reach slightly more up, and add the smallest side bend. Ooh, do I feel that on this side? Push L3 backwards. If you don't feel this one, it's usually because you have a big arch in your lower back and you don't yet have the sensation of pushing L3 backwards. Okay, keep practicing. It'll come to you. Let's take 2 more breaths. And release. Excellent job today. That was a tough one. Give yourself a hand. See you next time.